Yes, my dear friend, welcome back to the channel. This is Salon's blog on a beautiful Saturday morning here in Southeast Asia, Malaysia to be precise, wherever you are on the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. Yes, you are on the continent of Africa, in Europe, in America, Canada, or right here in Asia with me. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed, a beautiful Saturday here. Yes, and I believe you are up and doing, you are strong, you are up and doing right where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a beautiful birthday celebration. Yes, as I was off throughout that day, last Thursday. And yesterday, just as I announced it here on this channel, many of you came out spending your quality time to send me messages upon messages. Dear friends, I truly appreciate all your comments. I appreciate all your well wishes, your prayers, and every goodwill. I really appreciate. I have your names right there, and at the end of this video, I'll be calling your names one by one with a big shout out to all of you guys out there. But quickly, major breaking news around Chelsea Football Club, and I want us to delve into that. Yes, major breaking news around our club. Chelsea FC's main shareholders are exploring their ownership of the English Premier League club Chelsea after a little more than 2 years in charge. Amid deterioration in relationships, people familiar with the matter have said. People familiar with the issues have spoken out. There are issues with our shareholders, yes, in their relationship. Right now, it looks like our shareholders, they have professional relationship. There is nothing like friendship among them any longer, and it's having a real toll on the running, day-to-day running of the club Chelsea. Ladies and gentlemen, I will delve much more into this. But you see, Sky Sports News reported it this way: Clearly Capital are open to buying out Todd Boehly, but they will not sell their own shares in Chelsea. Yes, Clearly Capital, they are open in buying out Todd Boehly's shares, but then they are not willing to sell their shares to anyone. Now, some other sources put it this way. Some other sources says California-based private equity firm Clearly Capital, Chelsea's majority owner, and US businessman Todd Boehly are assessing whether they can potentially buy each other out. According to the people, the relationship between Clearly co-founder Eghbali and Todd Boehly, who together led a hard-fought takeover of Chelsea in 2022, has deteriorated in recent months. According to the people, as a period of heavy spending at the club has failed to bring success on the field. Differing opinions on Chelsea's recruitment policy. Listen carefully, my dear friend. Differing opinions on Chelsea's recruitment policy, the team's underperformance, and failure to make progress on building a new stadium have all contributed to the rift. The people said, asking not to be identified, discussing confidential information. The people are insiders, yeah, in quotes, insiders. Now, Clearly owns more than 60%. Actually, they own 62% of Chelsea. Clearly Group, Clearly Capital, they own 62% of shares, with Todd Boehly holding the rest alongside US businessman Mark Walter and Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss. Bloomberg News reported last year that Boehly was dialing back his involvement at Chelsea after a difficult first season in charge. Ladies and gentlemen, now the menu is set on the table. Now let's digest it. I'm about to digest it for your understanding. You see, in 2022, when the British government want to take over or has taken over Chelsea Football Club from Roman Abramovich due to the Russia invading of Ukraine, that situation actually, honestly speaking, consciously, it was an evil perpetrated against Chelsea Football Club by the British government. It was an evil perpetrated against Chelsea Football Club by the British government. Oh yes. A football club owned by a Russian billionaire having an allegiance to Putin does not necessarily mean that the club has anything to do with the Russia's invading of Ukraine. But the British government decided otherwise, saying, as a friend to Putin, you are in a position to advise him not to take the direction he decided to take. That is it. You are a friend to Putin, and you should have advised him not to invade Ukraine, but you did not. And therefore, any business owned by Russians in UK were taken over by the government. You see, where they brought politics to meddle into football or sports matters, it was bad. For we the fans, you remember in that year, we were banned. We were not allowed to recruit any player. We were not allowed to sell any player for profit. And that is how come some of our players ran down their contract. We couldn't renew some of the players their contracts that was about to expire. And so some of the players had to leave on free. Oh yes, Rodiger is one example. He left on free. You can imagine the wonders he's doing right now with Real Madrid. Now, coming back to this, these Americans now came in and formed a consortium and bought Chelsea. 4.8 million pounds? 4.8 billion pounds or so, or 4.2 billion. Todd Boehly was the figurehead, in quotes, the face of the club. And he is still the face of the club. But administratively, Eghbali, because of the percentage he and the Cleric group, they have the higher percentage of shares, he is more of in charge of day-to-day administration. I mean, everything that is happening around the club concerns him. Player recruitment, he gets involved. Management of him, I mean, he's always there. But the face of Chelsea is Todd Boehly. So many are thinking Todd Boehly is the majority shareholder. No, it is the consortium formed by Eghbali. They own 62% of Chelsea. Todd Boehly and his partners own 38%. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, in the first season of Chelsea, after the takeover, Todd Boehly had different idea about how to run the club. Eghbali had different idea about how to run the club. In Todd Boehly's idea, on his mindset, that first season, if you remember very well, Chelsea fans, Todd Boehly was more on hands on deck. He was more available, working hands on deck, trying to get things done. Buying of players, negotiations, and everything. At the point, he became more like a sporting director himself. Negotiating deals. That's how come we secured players like Raheem Sterling. Oh yes. Ladies and gentlemen. So, Todd Boehly's idea was to continue the way Roman Abramovich was doing it by buying experienced, quality, in quote, superstars to continue the winning trend. But that Eghbali's idea was, let's buy them young, train them, sell the ones we can sell. With 2-3 years from now, we will get there where we can start winning. Now, it's been 3 years down the lane. We are not yet winning. We are still in the building process. And this is where the conflict is coming in. It was clear from late last year, we understood the relationship between Todd Boehly and Eghbali was deteriorating. And remember, these two men are the main head. But their relationship was deteriorating. It only existed on professional basis, on business level. All that we are seeing right now happening in Chelsea are the doing of Eghbali. Oh yes. Let's buy 18 years, 18 years, 18 years, 19 years. It's all about Eghbali. Todd Boehly's idea was, let's buy mature players that can get us winning. Sorry. Yes. Now, we need to understand this quickly. We need to get this clear. Chelsea has a history. One partner wants that history to be maintained. Thank you. Chelsea has a history. One partner wants history to be maintained. One partner wants history to be rewritten. New history altogether. Let's build it in our own image. We are businessmen and we must focus more on profit making. Ladies and gentlemen, the misunderstanding between Todd Boehly and Eghbali is very simple. Which direction the club should go? Are we to build for the future? Nature players, build them, both the academy and, talent from around the world. Build them up together, sell those that we can sell, make profit out of them, give these ones a chance to grow and to develop. You remember, when we started this takeover, then this new takeover, in fact, as of last season, we were hearing that they have 4 transfer windows to build a strong squad. Oh yeah, they made it very clear that they are looking at 4 transfer windows to build a strong squad. Meaning the first transfer window, they were not expected to have a strong squad. The second transfer window, not expected to have a strong squad. Third one, the fourth one. Ladies and gentlemen, now this transfer window that has just ended, making the 4th transfer window. So if we were to go by their plan, it means that we have already succeeded in getting the 4 transfer windows that they needed to build a strong squad. The question is, do we currently have a squad in place that can win trophies? 4 transfer windows, and we are not able to secure a top-notch striker. We got him, yes. We got a player, yes. But we refuse to pay based on the salary or the structure that we put in place. Clerc owns more than 60%, and so therefore, Todd Boehly cannot just muzzle his way through. Todd Boehly cannot just muzzle his way through. There are majority shareholders, and so he will have to also listen to them. And this is where the conflict is. And so the relationship between the 2 main shareholders deteriorated. That is the situation right now. So if you are hearing about Chelsea shareholders having an issue, ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. Now, without a paywall for anyone interested, pretty much either Boehly buy Clerc 60% share, or Clerc Eghbali will buy for the 40% share of. Who is going to sell his shares? Todd Boehly did not come out to say, I'm selling my shares. Clerc Group are not interested in letting go their shares to Todd Boehly. We understand also Todd Boehly already contacted Ukrainian billionaire, hoping in case these guys really want to sell their shares, he will not struggle to get a partner. Now, Ben Jacobs reported it this way. He said, I understand Clerc Capital do not wish to sell any of their shares. Clerc Capital, being headed by Eghbali, do not wish to sell any of their shares. They will only consider increasing their stake should another minority investor, such as Todd Boehly, wish to sell. Nothing evident at this stage, although Clerc will explore if other shareholders wish to discuss. The relationship between Baghdad, Eghbali, and Boehly remains professional. Professional. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the latest news coming from Chelsea front. It is called the ownership mess. The ownership mess. That is where Chelsea found itself right now. Buy a Chelsea Football Club pitch owner share if you haven't done so already. I am preparing to buy one. Oh yes, with £100, you can own part of Chelsea's pitch. When you talk about the pitch, the stadium. Yeah, Chelsea Football Club, before it's become a pensioners club, right? Great. You know that the pitch where the stadium is, right? The stadium, Chelsea Stadium, the pitch is owned separately. Yeah, private entity owns the pitch. And it is open for all to buy. All Chelsea fans have a chance. You want to buy shares in that with £100, you could be a member. You'll be presented the certificate. Oh yes, let me tell you, my good friends, just with £100, £150, you buy a share in that, you are entitled to many things. For those of you who love to travel to UK, to Stamford Bridge, as a shareholder, with that certificate, you go to your British embassy. I'm just giving you a secret too. I'm giving you don't let your friends know about it. You put that certificate on your document, you present to British embassy. In your country, you want to go and watch Chelsea Manchester United game at Stamford Bridge. You are a shareholder. I can assure you your visa is guaranteed. Oh yes. It is a secret. There's some little things that we need to know. And it's the reason why I'm here to educate you on some of these things. Own a share in Chelsea pitch. The stadium is owned, the pitch is owned by a private organization. And you could be part of that ownership. It is the reason why when these owners are considering moving the stadium, in fact, it started from Roman Abramovich era. They are trying to build the stadium in a new location. Now, if they move the stadium to a new location, automatically Chelsea's name has to be changed. I mean, you cannot move Stamford Bridge to another location, because that name is a name owned by the owners of the pitch. Yes. Chelsea is a name owned by the owners of the pitch. So if you are moving the stadium to a different site, you have to be ready to buy or to change the name, because you cannot go to another place with that name. This is one of the most difficult things that are making Chelsea not to relocate. That is why these owners, they are considering to break down the Stamford Bridge and rebuild it. But the space around the Stamford Bridge is not big enough. They are considering building a stadium of about 80,000-90,000 capacity. But the size of the land around it right now cannot build that capacity. And this is part of the difficulties they are having. Currently, it was agreed, they bought some lands around the stadium. Veterans property in UK, veterans, how do you call it? Estate. The ex-veterans estate, was paid for recently. They bought it because they will need all those spaces around the stadium in order to redevelop it into a larger space. Even that, from what I read the last time, we could only build up to about 60,000 capacity. Now we should be around 45. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think my time is already fast spent. And therefore, I will be back with more exclusives on the latest information on Chelsea. And I have exclusive on Noni Madueke. Yes, I have an exclusive on Noni Madueke and Jordan Sancho. But let me reserve that. I should be back in the next hours for more exclusives. Ladies and gentlemen, quickly, before I let you go, let me just rush this down. It's strange to see staff like Boehly prefer established players. It is very strange to see big guys, big staffs in Chelsea like Todd Boehly that prefers established players, and Eghbali preferred kids. I watched a few interviews after that first transfer window, where Boehly clearly stated they will focus on buying elite youngsters and develop them together. I think it was a unanimous agreement to go that route. Even if Boehly is the so honest and had that stinker he had in the first transfer window. Yes, the stinker Todd Boehly had in the first transfer window by buying experienced players like Raheem Sterling. You see, he had in the first transfer window and yet missed the Champions League. We still did not qualify for the Champions League that season. He would have rethink of his decision or his standings. So I don't think the problem is down to recruitment. I don't think the problem is actually down to recruitment of whether youngsters or experienced players. There are magnitude of things they can disagree on. There are magnitude of things that both players right now can disagree on. A lot. Wages. Look, you see, I wanted to conclude. You can't not buy a business and you begin to let go of security man, private bodyguards, sales reps, marketing manager, promotional manager. You let chief executive, you eventually got rid of everyone at the club that have helped over the years to make Chelsea what Chelsea is currently. You have succeeded in letting go every one of them. Just a few days ago, we heard about the CEO, Jurisic, leaving the club. Almost every man, 2, 3 experienced guys that have been in the club for years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, they are all leaving the club. I'm not surprised that the ownership is in crisis right now. I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is. It is what it is. The earlier we sit up, the better. The better. Well, let me leave you here first. I'll be back with more exclusives in the hours to come. Dear friends, see you in the next one when you see me. Shalom and peace.